So despite the half-inch thick layer of pollen on my face and everything else, it feels nice out here. I think it's a good day to use up some of these scraps and build something. So let's go. Now, as you may remember from my snake enclosure build video, I bought these pieces of PVC board from Home Depot in 4x8 sheets. At the time, the only trailer I had available to use was too small to carry them, so I had to get them to rip them down in the store into 2x4 foot sections. And as I said in that video, they never rip anything square. So I'm going to have to use these tools and square up on my edges before I start building. I'll trace out these plastic bends on this PVC and hopefully get enough sections to do my shelves. If not on that sheet, I got a couple more pieces that I can use, and I always have scrap wood. So for this particular shelf, I don't want it too humid inside. So I'm going to take the soldering iron and poke some ventilation holes around the top of all 4 of these bins. Wait, what kind of shelf is this? Now to repeat that 3 more times. Alright, I got holes in all 4 of them. I can lay it across this PVC, mark it up, trace them out, and get to cutting some shelves. Unfortunately, I got started late, so running out of daylight. Not going to have time to get a whole lot cut today, but I'm going to go ahead and mark them up. One less thing I got to do tomorrow. Find out which side's closest to being square. Square all the other edges up off of it. Now you can see that was over a ½ inch off. That was not so bad. Still not perfect, but not so bad. Pretty much sums up what I'm going to do today. I'll get back at this thing tomorrow. Oh, just thought about it. I don't have a router yet. Man, I'm going to have to order me a router. Thank God for Amazon next day shipping. Y'all, please explain to me who ships packages like this. Amazon shipped me this package without a box.
Sounds broken.
Most likely, sir. I'll bet it was something nice, though.
Whatever. Let's get back to cutting these shells. Oh, that's pretty square to me. It's not a bad edge with the multi-tool. Still gotta clean it up. Neither is that one. Just gotta make sure they're square, but that's what you get with a good blade. That's a Diablo blade. Okay, so I'm trying to build this without going to the store to buy any wood. So I know this jug ain't square. No way I get that lucky. Look at that. Square it up. As much as I don't want to, after looking around, I think I'm going to have to go to Lowe's. I don't have anything sufficient for a top. So I just got back from Lowe's, bought some cheap board, kind of like melamine, shelving board. Just going to use that because it's a lot lighter weight. So I'm going to cut that real quick. We got weather coming in. It's be raining all day tomorrow, so I doubt I'll get to finish up tomorrow. But I want to at least get these boards cut so I can get them out of the weather. Okay, so with bad weather coming tomorrow, I had to bring the project inside. It's pretty cramped in a tiny house, but I gotta get it done tonight. Alright, I'm using this MDF that's wanting to split. So I had to go downstairs and put out this countersink bit. That way I can pre-drill some holes, prevent that MDF from splitting. Okay, so I killed my camera batteries. Back to my phone. Okay, so I got my new router set up, bit in it, ready to route out these shelves so I can put my heat tape down in it. So have you figured out what kind of shelf it is yet? This is going to be a mess to clean up, but it is what it is, because I'm not going outside in the rain. Good God, I'm gonna regret this one. I'm glad it's a bachelor pad and nobody can yell at me about getting shit all over the floor. Too messy. Let's jump ahead to the paint. It's a windy day to paint. Alright. Right there, enough of angle, I won't worry about space. What about the top? Okay, it's done. Now I just have to get it back to the porch.
Help!
Ah, that was heavy to hold with one arm. Okay, so this is the back of the rack. So I'm going to take this thin board right here, cut a couple strips, and tack it up to the back of each one of these shelves so the bench can't slide back too far. I'm just going to eyeball how long I want them to be, because then I really have to cover the full length. So I got these painted up. Gave them about 10 minutes to dry, if that. That stuff dries fast. I'm using Tri-Line Fusion. It's an acrylic, like I use in all my enclosure builds, because it's non-toxic once it's dry. Boy, I look like I've done that a few times. Alright, now I'm just going to let it dry. I may let it air out a couple days on the porch. Then I'm going to install the heat tape, and it'll be ready for the bins and the babies. So I built this cabinet on the side because I'm going to put my thermostat and all my wires in there. Plus it's big enough to hold a bag of aspirin or two. Heat tape. Got a bundle of wire with some 110 plugs on them. I'm going to cut me 4 strips of this, one for each plastic bin. Connect them with leads using these wires. So it's time to bust out the soldering station. So I got my cables. heat tape, flux, 2 different size solder, because I'm not really sure how small that wire is. When I get inside of it, I'll check. Here's my challenge. Most people use this tape in one continuous run. I'm going to be using 4 separate pieces connected with leads. Therefore, because I have a line in and a line out on each one of these strips, I really need 2 outlets. And the company didn't have any extra ones to sell. They told me it'd be easy enough to run my extra wire in with this one. Obviously, it was put together with a cripper tool. Not really sure how to get it apart without breaking it. So I have a couple options. I can solder it straight to here, or I can peel back some of the laminated cover on top of the heat tape, and I can solder my extra lead directly to the tape. That's probably what I'm going to do. Okay, I got my 4 strips cut, and I got 1 left over. And if I measured right when I bought this, it's just wide enough for my butt. Yep, that's right. I'm going to make a new chair to sit on in the next couple of weeks. And I decided when I bought this, hey, why not make the chair heated too? Still got to buy a thermostat for the chair though, because you don't want to run this kind of heat element without a thermostat. That's a quick way to start a house fire. Alright, so I got the strips cut. I got my 4 leads cut, in strip. Now it's time to get down to twisting and soldering. And twisting is not a diastrophic favorite thing to do. See, normally you take your hand and twist this way. I don't have that. Not only do my fingers don't bend, I don't have any rotation in my wrists. I strip back some of the laminate off of the top of the copper strip, and I'll solder straight it on all of them. Time to start soldering. So I'm now taking all my leads, twisting my pair of the wires together. So now I'm going to add flux to them. I'm going to ting each one of them. I'm going to ting the copper strips on the heat tape, then stick them together. So I was looking at the solder wire I had. This is a silver acid core, so I won't be using that. That's for doing copper pipes. Probably bought this when I did my shower. Pretty sure that's what I swept my shower pipes in with. So this is a flux core, smaller than I want. It's only 0.3 millimeter. Used for doing micro boards. But yeah, it'll work for this. Just have to use more of it. Don't forget to use flux. Flux not only cleans your wires up, removes oil and grime, that might prevent a good solder, but it also helps to eliminate oxides that develop when applying all that heat. It's kind of like playing pool. Have you ever seen anybody that didn't use chalk that was actually good? Use flux. Alright, I'm going to heat up the soldering station, set at 350 Celsius. Okay, now it's time to install the heat tape. Okay, so now I got it assembled. I got my heat tape inlaid. I covered it up with this metal flashing tape. Now I'm going to go back with this shelf liner. Put 1 layer over the top. Just so I don't have to worry about my bends catching the edges of this tape and peeling it up in the future. So this is the first rack I've ever built. And to be honest, I haven't looked at any racks in person, up close. So this was a learning process. I know a lot of things I'll do different next time I build one. And speaking of such, I made a pretty big mistake on this build that I won't do in the future. Let me show you. So these plastic bins have feet on the bottom of them. And the heat tape I put too far to the left side of the shelf. Specifically, right where the feet of the bins want to sit. I probably also rounded 1/8 of an inch too deep. So it resulted in the bins wanting to sit down inside of a groove, which made them slope on one side, leaving a gap at the top that the snakes can get out of. So what I did to remedy the situation was to stack up layers of the metal tape in each corner where the feet of the bins would sit. I should have sanded the feet off and spaced the shelves accordingly. Okay, so it's complete. I got my Inkburn thermostat attached. It's a Wi-Fi edition, so I can check it or get alarms even when I'm away from the house. Alright. I'm going to start removing my female lid. Come on, beautiful. Anaconda. She's probably a little over 30 grams. Hey, baby, going to your new house. Think about that. Let's move on to the boy. Look, buddy. Oh, you get big. Come on, good buddy. Hey, don't be running from me, bruh. One more anaconda. Why don't you go in your new house down here, buddy? Hey, go in there. You recognize that house? And if you notice, I got 2 open slots. And if you watched my last video, my unboxing video, you know I got just something for these slots. First, my male, het albino, 66% het exantic. In other words, possible het snow. Since their bins have been set up, I just gotta remove the lid and slide them in the rack. And now we got my new female, also het albino, 66% exantic. In other words, also a het snow. So I'm not gonna pull them out right now and show them all because it's kind of late and I'm already probably stressing them. So if you want to see them, go watch that unboxing video. So eventually I'll find a piece of scrap and cut a door to go over in front of that. So that's pretty much it. The start of something beautiful. And in the next year or so, you might be lucky to be able to get one of these babies. Thanks for watching, and y'all have a good one. Oh yeah, and how could I forget? One more thing. Perfect. And isn't that ironic? As I'm putting the sticker up, I get a message. And it's DMV Hog Nose. Must be a sign. Y'all go check them out. Now Misty's mad at me because she thinks I tried to set the shelf on her. She went and told Hansi, and Hansi's looking at me all crazy. Hansi, she's lying to you, man. I was just carrying it to my deck. Don't believe all that junk. Misty, why are you so dramatic?